Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Hand of Fate 2 Preview Build. In the previous episode, we took on the Magician Challenge, saving the town of West Wend, I don't know why I kept mispronouncing it, from the terror of West Wend. And in this episode, we'll be taking on the High Priestess, the last challenge of the preview build. Now, we only have one companion to bring with us. In this case, we're going to be needing to gain tribute. Gain blessings to increase your chance of success. There's Northern Honor, which means we're going to be fighting a ton of Northerners, so our equipment's going to want to be stacked with swords and shields. And we gain a new... Now, what's the phrase? A new mechanic, the campfire. I'll go into that in a bit. And you may also notice that there is a silver token rather than a gold. Well, there's also a gold. But let's get back to this. A bunch of new stuff. Let's toss in the Old Maiden. Malocalypse's problems once more. Oh, by the way, I should tell you that you can only use these cards if the companion is with you. So because of that, we can't use the dice, or we can't bring along a companion that would help us with the dice to get us past it, unfortunately. I'll take the Pauper Plague. Let's see, room for 3 more. Let's go for West Wend Tavern, just because it has a token. Gnomish Exchange, and Lost Boy. As for equipment, like I said, we'll be facing Northerners, so we're going to want swords and shields. Winter's Bane. I get the feeling that Winter's Bane has something to do with Northerners. And let's take the Valiant Aegis, because it's new, and the Ruby Ring. And with that, let's set off.
You find yourself once again in the company of prayer and religion. How unfortunate.
Yes, there are now 2 separate tokens for us to gain from this card.
Now it begins. Negotiations on behalf of the Empire. We will see how that story ends.
Basically, what it means is that there are 2 challenges for us to complete. Just beating the whole challenge in general gets us the silver token. But if we beat the secondary challenge, which varies from challenge to challenge, then we gain the gold token. Now, you don't have to complete the secondary one to beat the challenge itself, but it definitely helps, because if you don't, then you're missing out on the cards you get from the golden token. Malocalypse has somehow roped you into traveling deep into the far north on a diplomatic mission. While I usually refrain from working for the Empire, since this one takes me further away from it, I've made an exception. It'll square my debt with General Brandstrom, and help open many doors for you. What do you say? How can I help? As you know, I have great many skills, but my swordsmanship is unlikely to hold up against Northern Raiders. I know no one else who is more up to the task. Okay, what about the leader of the Raiders? There are many clans dotted around, but the supposed leader of them all is the High Priestess, who lives up there. Malocalypse points to the top of the soaring mountain before you. Will you join me? Well, what's your mission? General Brandstrom instructed me not to come back until I talk to the High Priestess of the North and offer the terms of the treaty, he explains. Will you join me? Sure, why not? Excellent. Bring your sword and let me do the talking, says Malocalypse. I've brought plenty of supplies so we can set up camp when we get hungry. 25 food. And that's what a platinum card looks like. Ooh, 6 blessings. Originally it was 5. The High Priestess is quite partial to blessings. If you can prove yourself worthy, we'd have a better chance of swaying her in our favor. You grit your teeth and begin the ascent.
A lesson in
Avalanche.
caution awaits us all.
Ooh.
Nature, truly wild nature, will not tolerate fury in its domain, unless it is its own.
High up on the mountain, despite having only started our journey, you see the silhouette of a man approaching through the heavy snow. He bellows through the roaring wind. Who dares trespass in the sacred grounds of our priestess? Hidden raiders spring down the mountain with the dexterity of mountain goats. Well, not off to the best of start if we want to negotiate peace with these guys. But then again, they started it. Alright, let's get our shield up.
Who dares venture? Not less than the amazing Barnabas. Unassisted.
Yeah, I'm the sidekick in all this. Well, that wasn't too difficult. Not even a scratch on me. Also, did anybody else see that mask shoot straight up from out of the ground? What have we got? Cardinal
A
Blade.
remnant of the Templars and their religious righteousness.
Not bad. Would have preferred the Winter's Bane, but this is also good. 10 gold. Clash of steel rings out, echoing through the peaks. The mountains answer with a low, ominous rumble as a wall of white rushes toward the melee, sweeping away everything in its path. Come on. Ooh. Come on. Damn it. I've never been this unlucky with a die. Or dice. The avalanche engulfs you, tossing you weightlessly down the mountain. Ah, thankfully we still get this. Your assailant's weapon juts from the snow. As you near, you realize it is still clenched in his hand, his body buried to the wrist by the avalanche. We could take the weapon, but it'll be better for us in the long run to dig him out. Plus, we did just get a new one. You brave the cold and free the raider from his icy grave. He takes a moment to catch his breath and says, "You saved me, though we are enemies by blood. Take my blessing and leave me to my thoughts." Heroic sacrifice. Prior to combat with 2 or more monster cards, optionally discard a basic monster card but lose your companion for 3 turns. That's definitely a new blessing for us.
Be careful where one takes refuge, even in the worst of storms.
Climb becomes unbearable as a ferocious blizzard sweeps the mountain. You seek shelter in a cave and desperately fight off the onset of frostbite. I'm just hoping we can succeed. Yay. The howling winds ease, you clear the snow from the cave and cave entrance to discover the dark clouds have passed. Blocklips forages for firewood, saying, "This log is dry enough. We can set up camp here for the night." Yes, access the campfire anytime between encounters. The campfire can be used to consume food, trade, or review your mission. Yes, it is a very useful thing and something we need to actually do.
Campfires will always offer warmth and heat, but they also change with each challenge. Be prepared.
Figure appears from out of a swirl of frost and snow. It is a northerner. "I come in peace," he says. "I make the pilgrimage to the High Priestess. I mean you no harm." Without waiting for approval, he slumps down beside you and warms his hands by the fire. "In my youth, I once fancied a northerner warrior. She almost cut off my head when I serenaded her." Blocklips plucks a mournful note on his lute. "Young love, hey?" Yes, at the camp, you can change your appearance if you desire, review your mission, trade if there is one available, from which you can buy food, which I don't think we really need, or buy equipment. Winter's Bane. Knock down Northerner. Perform a powerful strike that causes knockdown to Northerners. Enemies in knockdown can be defeated with a finisher. Riposte charge. Against Northerners, Riposte deals 150% damage and counts double towards weapon charge. Yeah, I was right. This is a weapon to use against Northerners. Unfortunately, I can't afford it, but I believe this means that it's at the top of the deck, so the next time we draw equipment, we should get it. Not 100% sure on that. Sell equipment. What do I have to sell? Cardinal Blade. It wouldn't get me enough to buy the Winter's Bane. Could buy a little extra food, but I think I'll pass. Besides, there's something else that we'll need the money for. Now, we can also cook some food in order to regain health, which is how you do it instead of going back and forth over completed cards. Very useful if you've reached the end, because food does nothing for you. Well, when I say that, it means it provides nothing for you once you've entered the encounter. You don't get to carry it over to the next one, or anything. So you may as well cook it up to regain full health, if you can. Alright, and we may as well review mission, just for the sake of showing it off. You know, I don't think the High Priestess will take kindly to me. You, on the other hand, with your sword and sense of honor, it should be fine. Yeah, let's break camp. You sleep through the long, cold night. In the morning, you pack your things and continue your climb up the mountain. Here we find again Malacalypse. Seriously? Let's try throwing in a different direction. There we go. To your horror, blood begins to blossom under your shirt. You pull it up to see that it is merely a superficial cut, but you wonder how it occurred nonetheless. Merc nods, happy with the results. He beckons Malacalypse closer. Those of us left, you should seek Ira of the Vale. She may know something of the cure. Last I heard, she's hiding out in the underneath.
Let us discover what the next chapter in our dear bard's tale will be.
Oh no. Not her, Malacalypse strains, his neck shawl nervously. Greasy Goblin Man giggles maniacally. Yes! She'll likely eat your bones before she lets you speak. Now if you'll excuse me, I have a business to run. With that, Malacalypse's associate turns away and hurls a bouquet at shocked passerby. Flowers! Fresh flowers! Buy 'em or I'll eat your eyes! Now, as you may notice, we are gaining fame. Fame is a new resource that I forgot to mention earlier that will allow us to equip powerful weapons and armor. So, it's kind of important for us.
The mountain itself pushes you back.
It's not pushing me back, I'm turning back, because we haven't finished exploring.
With the least of notice, the very lands beneath your feet can slide away. Life is filled with surprises.
Another avalanche, and another blessing for us. Ooh, Trapper of Frost. This is one of those special enemies that doesn't have its own boss to introduce you to it. No, I will not discard either of these, because, quite frankly, they're easy to deal with. On the frozen plains, prey are few and far between. Keen eyes of a trapper see all. Trappers throw hunting traps that snare their targets, use evade to avoid the traps, or change move direction rapidly to break free. Yeah, that's pretty much their whole thing.
None less than the amazing Malacalypse.
In all honesty, I'm probably going to focus on taking these guys out first, because one, they don't do their combos, and getting ensnared can be a bit of a pain in the ass. Personally, I've found Northerners to be the easiest to fight. Though, if they become large in number, they actually can become rather difficult. Come on, equipment card, I want that Winter's Bane. Yes! Can't wait to see what it looks like. And a little extra food in life never hurt. Now, here's hoping we can succeed at this one. Perfect. You seek shelter against a bluff, pressing close to the rock face as the avalanche roars overhead. When the trembling stops, you are miraculously unscathed. And we dig him out again. Long shot. Score the exact target value in a dice gambit to draw 3 equipment cards, then discard this card. Ooh, I don't want that to happen.
Age turns us all. She has done rather better than I in the time that has passed.
Walking through a shady forest, you encounter a frail old maiden. She stops to greet you. For centuries, I have helped the mortals who find themselves lost in my forest. Is there anything that may help you with your journey? Well, I don't need food, don't really need longer life, so I'll take gold. No amount of gold will satisfy a mortal, but if that is what you wish, her ancient voice falters on the words, as if long unused. Right, now we continue up the mountain.
Will you push on, despite nature itself attempting to thwart you?
Well, I don't have much of a choice. I mean, I could forfeit, but then we wouldn't move forward with the game. Besides, if these are my memories,
Witches I will tolerate. They have at least stepped into the streams of power that magicians call home.
Anyways, as you ascend the snowy mountain Freydis, you happen upon a cottage with a pungent smoke wafting out of the chimney. A frail old lady sweeping snow off the path beckons you to come in. We've come in search of the great High Priestess to deliver an important message, says Malacalypse. You'd better go bearing blessings if you want to get on the High Priestess's good side. I'm fixing a batch right now if you'd like a taste. If I've got it right this time, you can take it to her, she says, stirring the cauldron. I've been watching what I eat, but my companion here has an insatiable appetite, he says, nudging you forward. Oh, please let me succeed at this. I think this one? Yeah! Guardian Angel. This was the best blessing card in the original game because, well, all of the chances were the 4-card Monties. So having this was the greatest blessing you could have. You take a sip of the aromatic potion and feel a warm, fuzzy feeling flowing through your body. Looks like my recipe is a success. I'm sure the High Priestess will appreciate this one. I know I do. You thank the old lady and continue up Mount Freydis, paying no heed to the brewing blizzard.
These are the choices that make the hero or the villain.
The town crier announces the Empire seeks mercenaries to join the battle against corruption. You seek out the watchtower where recruitment is taking place. You arrive in time to hear Sir Malifaule's plan to wipe out the Paupers district. The outbreak began there, and we cannot risk sparing any of their lives, he says. Sir Malifaule, the Green, leads the mercenaries to the Pauper district where the poor and sick have been walled off from the rest of the city. As you hear the wailing of the corrupted, Sir Malifaule gives his command to charge. Now, what is different between this and the first card is that we have a choice. We can fight the corrupted, and our reward will be gold. Or we can refuse to kill the paupers, fight the soldiers, and our reward will be food. It's really a decision of what you need more, food or gold. I'm going to take the food, even though we have 22 of it, and I know the battle isn't that much longer. Actually, why would I take the food? I'll take the gold. You find yourself surrounded by corrupted. You draw your weapon and set to your feet. Not gonna do a heroic sacrifice. It's just 4 blight and 1 terror of blight, which I can take down easily. That is a lovely, sleek-looking looking blade. I like it. Used to defend those in need.
Don't let them hit me! I'm too awesome.
Shouldn't be too difficult of a fight. Now, unfortunately, they're not Northerners, so that knockdown doesn't, well, knock them down. But it doesn't really matter. Now, as you can see, these are soldiers that have shields. We have yet to encounter those, at least as enemies, but they are one of the more annoying enemies of the Steel faction. Oh, come on. But anyways, yeah, these guys actually go down in one hit from a finisher. The only reason the first guy went down in two is because he was a boss. And the bosses will always be tougher than their common counterparts. Commends us for our bravery, offers you a reward. Ooh, that is a lot of gold.
Not every temple has crumbled into the dust, more's the pity.
And this is what we needed the gold for. The Temple of Divine Providence provides blessing in exchange for a simple gold donation. Now let's see. Gambler's Banquet. Receive +4 food after every dice gambit. That is a very good one, but we don't need the food. Receive +15 life for every gold gain card you receive. Could be useful. If your max life is less than 150, you may discard food gain or equipment gain cards to receive +5 max life. Not bad. Pocket money. Gain up to 20 gold at the beginning of a new map if you have less than 20. And no. Divine Providence. Adds +1 to each of your dice during the dice gambit. Why not? I've been having trouble with the dice games so far. Unfortunately, we can only get one blessing.
In the cold, men become desperate. Women hold these mountains together, even through the worst.
Let's not get a huge failure, which I know was the top card in the first shuffle. And yes, I will take that card. Okay, what's here? Another blizzard. Of course. I think I'm gonna take some time to eat up and regain health. Yeah, I'll take that. Okay, before we go any further, let's make camp and eat. As though you are being stalked, the gentle northerner pilgrim emerges from the darkness, slumping down beside you. Mount Freitas does ever bite, he says with a grin. I love our harsh kiss and bitter cold embrace. Another day's good climb. Food for sale is refreshed, and equipment for sale is refreshed. Yeah, whenever you go to a new map, the trader that appears whenever you camp will refresh his stores. And speaking of stores, I may as well trade for some more food. Let's see, Soldier's Sword. I believe that also does more damage against Northerners, but not as much as Winter's Bane. So, what do I have to sell? May as well get rid of the Cardinal Blade. Don't need that anymore. Just making sure I've got enough gold to continue buying supplies. And let's break camp.
A grand opportunity for you to take whatever pleases you and go about your day.
I believe in original, in previous preview builds, there was only one Temple Prayers and one Avalanche. Why not? I'll take this. It'll be a good combo with my other dice card.
The mountain is unforgiving. You would not be the first to die upon its peak.
And I probably wouldn't be the last. Alright, if we can get the blessing from this old lady...
Old witches. I have a fondness for them, but I would not trust them.
Then we will have all the blessings that we need. Further up the mountain, the blizzard becomes so intense you barely see the tiny cottage engulfed in snow. An old lady beckons you in. I've received word from my sister's hawk, how did it manage to get here in the blizzard, and have been expecting you. I may not be as skilled as her, but this blessing potion I've whipped up is my best yet. Do you think it's good enough to take to the High Priestess? She says, blowing the steam off a simmering bowl of thick liquid. I really couldn't, says Malacalypse, patting his belly. Oh boy. Okay. Yeah, no, I'm gonna redraw. Damn it. Take a sip of the putrid potion and feel your stomach churn. I knew I shouldn't have substituted the cloudberries for bogberries. Choose the righteous path and you'll find your blessings on your way, I'm sure. Yeah, here's hoping I can get one more, because it would be real pain in the ass to have gotten this far only to be short one blessing.
I am torn between my loathing for gnomes and my despair that the world is becoming less strange and arcane as the Empire spreads.
Halt, vile humans, a voice calls out as a dozen small creatures leap from the trees around you. It takes a few moments to realize they are gnomes. Dirty, poorly armed gnomes. A few hold spears, but most have only a rock or a sharpened stick. We seek arms to defend ourselves, a gnome declares loudly. Hand over some of your equipment and we'll release you. We can even pay you something. I'll give you some food for a helmet, one of the small folk exclaims. No, give me some armor and I'll give you a health potion. I don't think I really have anything to spare. They won't want any of my rusted stuff, and... sorry. You refuse and the gnomes attack. A collection of sharp sticks and rocks fly in your direction. I lose a bit of life, but no biggie. Gnomes quickly retreat into the trees, peering at you from the shadows until you leave.
Children.
Lost boy.
It's hard to conceive that either of us were ever such.
Yeah, well, at some point everyone was a child. It's just a small child you overhear. A deeper voice growls. We have to take him to the dungeons, or else he'll run straight to whatever northern clan he's spawned from and show them where our outpost is. That's a shifty-looking kid. I wouldn't trust him as far as I could throw him, says Malacalypse. You consider the boy's fate. Let's save the kid. Who knows, maybe he'll bless us. Unsheathing your weapon, you demand they let the boy go. The Empire's soldiers are unmoved by your threat. Oh boy, Phalanx. I hate dealing with these guys. And it's not letting me select anything else. It's not letting me select the Phalanx of Steel. Do I have to use my mouse to do so? No. Well, seeing as how I'm gonna have to deal with them anyways, may as well show it off. Because the musket guys aren't that big of a deal. They're essentially the same as the skeletons with the musket from the first game. It's the Phalanx that are a pain. They're kind of like upgraded versions of the guys with just sword and shield. The expansion of the Empire requires constant conscription of new blood. Soldiers block all attacks, greatly reducing their damage. Use bash to open them up for damage.
Once again, good intentions end up with...
Yeah, you gotta hit them with a bash first before you can do any damage to them. What the hell? I hit him with a bash first. Now, for some odd reason, you are able to block the musket guy's attacks. I don't know why. You just are. You'd think that them being bullets, they'd go straight through a wooden shield, but hey, what do I know? Unfortunately, you cannot riposte these guys, but thankfully, hitting them with hitting their shield does somehow boost your attack counter for your special attack. Now, thankfully, these guys weren't too bad, but in larger numbers, they can be a serious threat. Got a nice health potion to counter the gnomish exchange. As you check on the unconscious guards, you notice the boy looking at you warily, as if sizing you up. Ah, perfect. I'm definitely gonna re-roll these two. Yes. I knew those cards were the right choice. He fiddles with a little dried plant hung around his neck nervously. Okay, I will tell you. There was an Empire ambush on our village, and I ran with Mother. We got separated. He wipes some tears from his face angrily. But I'm not afraid. I am of Clan Catsfoot. We are great pathfinders. I will find a way home. Boy tells you what he knows of the area. Perfect. Now we know to avoid that blizzard, and unfortunately, there's nothing that can get us a final blessing. Well, that sucks. Small northern boy refuses any and all help. You can only wish him luck as his small form disappears into the forest. Unless the West End Tavern gives us some, blessings, we're
Ever
pretty much
since
failed.
I've returned to this world, I've been disappointed. The filth, the shame, the horrors dwell in the minds of men, not in the monsters in the darkness.
Westwind's only tavern, the Rusty Razor, is a safe harbor among the many dangers of the outer reaches of the Empire. Its barkeep sits outside its establishment with a look of resigned defeat. Upon your arrival, he jolts straight up and a smile almost breaks out across his face. At last, someone from the guild is here. These Empire soldiers have almost ruined me. Before you can disagree, the owner swings open the saloon door and pushes you inside. Inside, you discover a handful of Empire soldiers enjoying ale rather than doing their duty. The freshly invigorated barkeep hops onto a table and shouts above the noise. You lazy, drunken deserters are done. The Stewards Guild has sent an enforcer here, and now you're all going to have to go get back to your posts. This town needs defending. One of the soldiers rises with a slight sway. We've got 3 days until our shift ends and we return to civilization. So we're not doing any fighting unless they threaten the supply of ale. Right, lads? Raucous cheer-ups and beer tankards smashed together all around. So why don't you take your shiny little badge and shove off? Barkeep turns to you. What are you going to do? I'm going to threaten them. You suggest with menace that the soldiers should report to duty, or they'll report to the healer. I think this one? No. This one? Yeah. Thank you, Guardian Angel. One soldier spits at your feet, but turns and leaves. The rest file slowly out behind him. Well, we may not have gotten the golden token, but we definitely got a token. Well, 2 tokens. 3 if you count the silver.
Now the confrontation. Are you ready to face the priestess of her people and drive the deal the Empire has requested? Or will you turn and flee?
Yeah, I was hoping he'd have something I could use. Soldier Sword again, no. Let's see. Equipment to sell. I only have his Winter's Bane. Now we can pass this, but, well, finish this, but we are going to be at a severe disadvantage. The winds clear and the dark clouds... Well, the winds clear the dark clouds to reveal the spire of a ritual house protruding from the summit. You press on through thick snow to find the wooden structure adorned with spoils of war. As you enter the great hall, the towering arched doors swing open with a heavy creak. A giantess in a velvet robe enters accompanied by raiders. Apocalypse bows low to the ground. My companion and I have been sent forth to discuss a truce between the Empire and Northerners, milady. So they send me a silver-tongued devil and his shield maiden. I hope for your sake you have a decent offering. You kneel before the High Priestess. Only 5 blessings? What a pitiful effort. With a flick of her wrist, bolts of lightning strike you. For not bringing enough blessings, you have failed to win the gold token. Yeah.
You still have a chance to defeat this mission, even if imperfectly.
giantess claps, the sound ringing in the silent cold hall. Ah! This small thing survived it. Come on, that barely took off much of my health. Impressive, but if you wish to speak to me of a treaty, you must prove yourself against my champion. Now, even if you did get all 6 blessings, you'd still have to do this fight. You just wouldn't have been struck by lightning. Berserker of Frost. Her raiders charge toward you. Winter's Bane, Wooden Shield, Adventurer Garb. Nothing else we can really use. Let's do this. No, I'm not going to use Heroic Sacrifice. I can take them, especially with my blade. Fierce, loyal, and relentless, champion of the High Priestess. Berserker weapons are imbued with ice that slows their enemies' movement and attack. Now, I'm not sure if they've changed up their AI to be any different from the regulars, besides the ice. So, well, we'll find out.
Why do you end up breaking the
Let's take out his flunkies first. Ow. Oh, they were not kidding about the ice. Come on, break free, break free. Thankfully, nobody took advantage of my situation. Didn't knock him down, probably because he's a boss. I mean, literally a boss. Wait, are all the others dead? Huh. Nope, nope, they're still the trappers. Come on, you can't bring me down. I've faced tougher than you. Ah, they changed it up, so it's the Berserkers that get the 3 attacks. Regulars just get the 2. It's over. We have bested your champion, Priestess. Now we may speak of a treaty. Even though you failed to bring me your offering, I'm impressed with how you wield your sword. Now hear my terms. The High Priestess draws herself up, a towering figure draped in fur and wrath. The North will never bend to the Empire. Blood for blood for blood. Those are my terms, small one. Let your leaders hear it and quake. With that, you make a quick descent and relay the message to General Brandstrom. Now, the dialogue was actually different in previous versions. Originally, she stated that, I will accept the terms, but not all of the clans listen to me. It's rather interesting how they changed things up. Now, we didn't get the gold, but we did get the silver. For besting the High Priestess's champion, we get Humble Hammer, Berserker's Creed, Extinguisher, along with Winter Solstice, Burning Building, Temple Prayer, Cartographer. For sounding Mount Freitas, your supplies have been added to. Yes, supplies are a new thing, but I'll go over those in the next episode. Warrior's Axe and Soldier's Sword. For convincing Merc to help Malacalypse, we gain the Underneath. For clearing out the Rusty Razor, we gain Friendly Innkeeper. We did not gain the gold this day, but we did gain the silver. Perhaps backtracking once more, we will succeed in impressing the High Priestess with our blessings. But that is for the next episode, and the full game. Yes, by the time we come back, I will have gained the gold for the High Priestess. We will be playing the full game, and if anything majorly different happens between this version of the game and the full version, I'll be sure to let you guys know. But with that, I'm going to end this episode off here for today. You guys like what you see? Please leave a like, subscribe for future content, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thanks for watching.